video. Hello, Lena. So, hello. So, just starting off now, just logged on. So, I have this little picture while we're warming up, and I really like it. There are a couple of different ways that I've seen it illustrated. Hi, Nora. So, the two guys, they're on the same bus, right? But this guy is looking out one side, and this guy is looking out the other side. And it just says, so much of our, hello, Andrea. It just says, so much of our happiness depends on how we choose to see the world. And I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really, really nice. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but I really like it. There's another one of two men in prison, and one of them is looking at the cell wall, the cement wall, and the other one is looking out the window at a bird singing outside. So it's just, yeah, it depends on our perspective and how we decide to see things, you know? Okay, so I have a couple of idioms today that I'd like to go through. All of them contain the word off. So this week we were looking at, hello, Nabs. This week we were looking at things with keep, and now I would like to look at a couple of things with off. So you will notice today all of the material contains the word off, right? So we have off the hook. I'll just run through them to give you an idea of what we're going to look at. Off the hook. We also have off the beaten track. Off the record. Off limits. Off the top of my head. Hello, Michael Jackson. Yeah, you were here yesterday. That's right, yesterday or the day before. That's true. You participated a lot. It was fantastic. I'm just running through what we're going to see today. So you have off the top of my head was the fifth one. So I picked 5 idioms. And then the phrasal verbs also with off, right? I have go off. I have rip off. I'm doing good, thank you, Michael. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? I'm doing good, thank God. Yeah. Long day today. Long day today. I had 8 hours of classes, but my students were fantastic, honestly. So it was okay. But yeah, it was a very long day. Okay, next one is slack off. Slack off. Next one, write off. Fend off. And that was them. And then I have the off vocabulary quiz. Okay, I picked 15 questions here. And then after that, I have a mini test if you guys would like to try. It's kind of like use of English. Everybody was asking me for use of English, so this is going to be a mini test. I can give you, isn't it hard to teach your students and do on TikTok more? Well, I love teaching. And honestly, yeah, it depends on the day. Depends on the day. But I enjoy the TikToks now. I'm enjoying them a lot. So I always feel good. I feel good now when I've done it. So hopefully that will, if it continues, you know. Today was an unusually busy day. Nowadays, I normally don't have 8 hours of classes, one after the other, eh? But today was very busy. No problem. If you knew my students, you would understand. They are really, really fantastic people. So it's a pleasure to work with them, you know. It's almost like speaking with my friends every day. So it's okay. Yeah, so mini test, right? And then I have a bonus question. And then I have some speaking questions. I picked like 6. So this is for, it's only going to be one person. Okay, so literally, when I get to the end of the live, yesterday we had Wolford is Worthy. And then Irene called at the end. If Irene is here, she will have priority today. If she would like to participate, she can do this. And you can come on and you can try. Like, I included all of the vocab that we're going to learn, and you can try and practice it. So it's a case of first come, first served. So basically, the first person who calls, you can try this, okay, when we get to the speaking. Okay, so let's jump back up to the idioms. Oh, it seems like a lot, doesn't it? Maybe I have been very ambitious for today, but here we go. Okay, so off the hook. Does anybody know this expression? Have you seen it before? Off the hook. Hey, Salter. How's it going? Happy Friday. Has anybody seen it before out of curiosity? Or it's totally new for everybody? Off the hook. Hey. Does anybody know what it means? No? Nobody? Nobody knows. Okay. Nobody? Really? No idea. Off the hook. No? Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna let you off the hook, right? So, when you see an idiom like this, if you have time, the first thing obviously to do is check if you know any of the vocabulary words. So, letting you be, yeah, Michael Jackson, kind of like letting you be. Yeah, letting you be. Good job. Okay, you're going in the right direction. What about a hook? Who knows what a hook is? Does anybody know Captain Hook? What famous movie or book is Captain Hook from? Garfield. Hello, Ellie. Is it Garfield? Peter Pan. Yes. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Captain Hook. Yeah. Smith with the pirates, Alina. Exactly. Okay. So this is Hook, right? Hello, Adi. What is the level of English I would like to improve? This is level C1, okay? More or less. B2 plus, C2-ish, and some native stuff. But generally C1. Okay, Adi? What level do you have, Adi? If you already have B2, you could be okay. If you don't have B2, it could be a bit intense. But you're welcome to stay. So, the hook is this thing, no? You remember Captain Hook from Peter Pan? He had the crocodile, I think. Is it similar to run away with? Run away with or run away from? Not really run away with, off the hook. That would be like a literal sense, Solder. Like if your dog is tied up, no? And the dog escapes, he can run away. But it's not that one today. Adi, I don't really know. I'll try. Okay, you can try. Nabs, the highest level is a native speaker. Well, depends. Some native speakers don't speak very well, eh? But the highest level is C2. As far as you can examine, it's C2. The hook can be used at fishing. Oh, Michael Jackson, you are on the right track. You are very warm. It's to do with fishing. Yes, that's a good way to remember this. So when you go, hello Pepe, hello Antonio, when you decide not to hold the person responsible for a mistake, yes. Favor Sherry, this is good. Good job. Yeah, you're on the right track, guys. Good job. Okay. So with the hook, when you're a fish, if you go fishing, no, I'm not going to do the action now, but the fish is on the hook. Okay. So when you catch a fish, I mean Shakespeare level of English. Okay, it's not Shakespeare level of English. The Shakespeare level of English, yeah. Let off fishing rod and all good. Yeah, Riley. Good job. So the fish, all right, Nabs, yes, it is not quite Shakespeare level of English. That's not very useful. And think like for people who need to work in English, this is what we're kind of, it's our goal, okay? People who want to pass a high level exam or people who want to work in English, Nabs. Yeah, if you're working with native speakers or, you know, yeah, so a lot of phrasal verbs, a lot of idioms, collocations, stuff like that. So if you go, you can go fishing to eat the fish or you can go fishing for sport. I don't think it's very cool, but some people love to do this. You catch the fish and you take a photo with the fish, and then you take the fish off the hook and you throw the fish back into the sea or the river. To get out of some responsibility. Yes, Tim, good job. Exactly. So we've taken this fishing meaning to getting out of responsibility. So maybe you should be punished because you did something wrong. You did something wrong, but they don't punish you. So they catch you, but in the end, they let you go. Or they let you run away, Soter. They let you run away, okay? Or walk away. So it's free from responsibility, blame, or difficulty, right? For example, the police found evidence proving he was elsewhere, so he was off the hook, right? Let get off. He was like get off scot free. Exactly. Yeah, he got off scot free. He was off the hook. He got. We saw this before, didn't we? Scot free. It's the same. He got off. COT. Exactly, scot free is like with no consequences. Absolutely. Actually, I would like to make a video about this one. I think it's awesome. The scot free thing. I'm gonna mark it there. Brilliant. Yeah. So he was off the hook. Okay. Possible origin. So this expression most likely comes from fishing. A fish that escapes from a hook avoids being caught, injured, or eaten. Okay, so he avoids being caught, injured, or eaten. In the same way, a person who gets off the hook escapes punishment, responsibility, or an unpleasant obligation. The image is powerful because the fish was already in danger but somehow managed to get away. So that's important. The fish was already in danger but somehow he managed to get away, or like Soldier said, run away. Okay? Hi Milo, tomorrow is your Cambridge exam. Good luck. I wish you the best of luck. Which level are you doing, Milo? Are you doing C1 or B2 or which level are you doing? Okay. So this is off the hook, right? This is the first one. B2C1, nice, Milo, good luck. Today I learned an idiom. Awesome, Nata. What's the idiom? This idiom, or did you learn another one? If you want, Nata, you can put the idiom in the... If you learned a different one, you can put it in the comments. Okay, so that's that one. I hope you guys got that one with the hook, right? Off the hook. Now, the next one is off the beaten track. What about this one? Off the hook? Oh, cool, Nat. I'm glad it was this one. I'm glad it was this one. I recommend try to use it. Try to use it. And then you'll integrate it into your vocabulary. So, oh my god, I'm so happy I found this thing. Also have my advanced. That's awesome. Okay. Lene, awesome to have you. Good luck in your exam. Good luck in your exam. Okay? So, Nata, that's really cool. Nice. What about off the beaten track, guys? What about this one? Has anybody heard it? Or this is totally new? I use this a lot, eh? Personally, me sale mucho. I use this a lot in many different contexts. Has anybody... Totally new, Bob? Hey, Bob. Totally new? My goodness. Okay. That's okay. We can go step by step. So, I really don't know, Michael. Okay, cool. So, first step is, guys, I recommend go for the noun. Check what the hell the noun means. So, as before, we saw hook, and we spoke about what does hook mean? Avoiding something too conformist. Mainly, it is associated with tourist traps or other more hidden gems. Awesome. Good job. Did you use ChatGPT or you knew this one, Sutter? That's really good. Okay? Yeah. No, you knew it. Good job. Well done. Really good definition. Really good definition. Guys, Salter put a very good definition in the chat there if you want to have a look. So, go for the noun. If you don't understand the idiom, first check the noun. What does the noun mean? So, track is not a road. If you're in the forest or in the countryside, it's where many people walked in this area. So there is a path normally made by people who are walking or animals who have walked over and back, over and back. Soter AI, first time I read your name. Scooter! Soter has a new name, your Scooter. It's cool. You have a nickname, laugh cry. Yeah. So track this path made by people walking. So that's the first thing. Now, then go for beat. What does beat mean? We know what beat mean. Beat is like this, no? To hit someone again and again and again and again. Like beat up, no? The mafia try to beat people up. So if you beat a track, right? Can you imagine people walking on this way, walking again, walking this way, like like Tyson, yeah, like Tyson, Mike Tyson, exactly. Walking this way and walking this way and walking this way and walking this way and walking this way, and finally the track. There's no grass. It's just like earth because people go there again and again and again, and you can see on the ground. You can see the track from the people repeatedly going there. Okay, so this track, it's like Soldier said, it's the typical way that people do things or the typical places that people go. Like the summer season is starting now, like this week, and everybody goes to Malaga, everybody goes to Marbella, everybody goes to Portimao in the Algarve. Like floods and floods, inundated. We saw on Wednesday, I think, or Thursday. Yeah, Wednesday. Places like tourist places are flooded with tourists because it's the typical place to go. All right? Everybody just goes there. The same, because you don't have to think. You go there, you have your hotel, you have the food included. Okay? Good job, Bob. Well done. So, this is the beaten track, right? That everybody does this, the typical path, right? If we say off the beaten track, it means that you don't take the typical path. Okay? So it's really, really, really nice. It depends. I think neither is right or wrong. Adabel, hello. I think neither is right or wrong. It just depends on your personality. Okay? Can it also mean avoiding it? Not really avoiding it, I think. Not really avoiding it. No, I think it's a question of your preference, your personal preference, I think. Voy a vivir. I like your name. I really like your name. Voy a vivir. I love it. Do the opposite of what others always do. Yes, exactly. Voy a vivir. Do the opposite of what others always do. Yeah, gracias. Okay, de nada. So yeah, but I think it's not necessarily avoid. I mean, no, not necessarily. Okay, so away from the usual tourist routes or conventional ways of doing things. Yeah, me personally, I don't particularly like the beaten track. It depends on the thing. It depends on the thing. For sure, traveling, I definitely don't. But it depends. But I don't like being in places that are overrun with tourists. At least I will try to go at a different time of year. If everybody goes to Greece in summer, maybe I will try to go to Greece in winter, for example. Okay, we spent most of our holiday exploring small villages off the beaten track. I just fly, so there's no reason to be off. I just fly, so there's no reason to be off. So, yeah, possible origin. I mean, it's quite literal. Before modern roads, travelers repeatedly walked road horses or drove carts along the same road. So before we had roads, the carriages went the same way. So over time, these routes became physically beaten into the ground. The beaten track was the path everyone used. Going off the beaten track meant leaving the familiar route and exploring somewhere less known, less developed, and more adventurous. Okay? I really love that one. And yeah, I use it a lot. Okay, number 3, we have off the record. Off the record. So does anybody know what that means? Thanks for the hearts, guys. So sweet. They come up here flying up on the screen. It's really nice. I don't know who sends them, but it's nice to see them. Hey, Monica. Okay, so off the record, any ideas? What do you think? Unofficial, yes. And what's the implication if it's, I know? Yes, good job, boy weird. Yes, it's mostly used in journalism. Exactly. Very good. Well done. Absolutely, mostly used in journalism. What's the implication? If a politician, for example, tells you something off the record, what's the implication? What's the problem with that? I hear it often in series about lawyers. Yes, very good, Bob. Exactly. Yeah, well done. Whatever is said, it won't be used, written about, published. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Or you need to find evidence elsewhere before you can publish it. Yes. But you're not allowed to publish something that's off the record. You shouldn't. And you can't say who said it, you know? And then if you can't say who said it, somebody could sue you or report you for what you said, and you can't say, well, that person told me. So you could be in big trouble. So you can't publish things or really use things that are given off the record. It's quite problematic, yeah. Brilliant. So unofficial, look, exactly what Bob said. Not intended to be made public or repeated. For example, the politician agreed to speak to the journalists off the record. Okay? Possible or origin. In journalism, information given on the record could be quoted and published with the speaker's name attached. Information given off the record was not supposed to appear in newspapers or broadcasts. Journalists and politicians have used this distinction for decades, although disputes often arise when someone later claims that a comment was meant to be off the record. Yeah. So some people make comments and they get published, and then this person said, oh, that was off the record. That was supposed to be off the record. You know, but yeah. Okay, next one. Number 4 is off limits. Off limits. What about this, guys? Any ideas? Beyond limits? Hello, Mimatic guy. You were here the other day. Hello. So what's off limits? Beyond limits is like Buzz Lightyear, isn't it? That people tell you, okay, this is your limit, and you go beyond the limit. So it's a little bit different. It's different, okay? Compared to beyond limits. So it's a bit different. Maybe it's something that is not allowed. Strictly forbidden by Veer and Sutter. Yes, it surpasses one's limit. Not surpasses. This one is surpasses one limit. But Sutter and Boivir are correct. Something that is strictly forbidden. Off limits, it appears a lot in soldiers' barracks, places you are not allowed to go. Yeah, places, areas that you are not allowed to go. In a hospital, for example, surgery is off limits to visitors. Only authorized personnel can enter. So what it means, not allowed, forbidden, especially inaccessible. For example, several areas of the building were off limits to visitors. Yes, sweets if you're a kid. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sweets are off limits. Good job. Yeah. Off limits until Saturday. Very good. Brilliant. Yeah, your PlayStation is off limits until Saturday. No? Your PlayStation is off limits until you finish your exams or until the weekend. Brilliant, good job. There is like a police strap, I believe it is called strap or something, when there is an accident. Yeah, exactly. It's tape. Yeah, it is. There is, so the police put up, it's like a yellow tape to mark the areas of the crime scene that are off limits. Excellent. Well done. That's it. Tape. Yeah. Brilliant. Good job. Brilliant example. Possible origin. So the expression became popular in the military during the 19th and 20th centuries. Certain buildings, neighborhoods, or establishments were declared off limits to soldiers, meaning they were officially prohibited from entering them. The phrase eventually spread into everyday English and is now used for anything that is forbidden or restricted. Okay, like the sweets and the PlayStation. Brilliant. Yeah. Super. Okay. And the last one we have today is off the top of my head. Yeah. You're thinking of to learn something off. You're thinking of this one. Compare to learn something off by heart. This is to memorize. They're different. They're different. Basically, when you come up with one idea, yes, that's it, Madika, that's it. First idea that comes to mind, yes. Like when rappers do freestyle, yes. I hear some say dome. Doming, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Dome. I need to check this. I'm going to put it in pink. I will investigate this later. I don't know. I'm not sure. I believe you. I will check. Originality and creativity. Originality and creativity. Without thinking too much. Good job, Alina. Yeah. Bob. Yes, Dom. Dome is a slang. I'm not sure. I'm going to check this after. It's new for me. I believe. Voivir. But it's new for me. Hello, what's that? Hello, Aaron. So, off the top of my head, right? To learn, so yeah, off the top of my head is like the first idea that I'm not sure, but to say something. If I say to you, you say to me, Vicky, how many people live in Spain? Oh my God, I'm not sure, but off the top of my head, without looking on Google, I would say 45 million people. Yup, mostly in hip hop based on what I know. Okay, nice. That's so cool. I'm gonna check this. I also love learning new vocabulary and stuff, eh? Even in my first language. Yeah, so off the top of my head, okay, off the top of my head, 45 million people, more or less. Or if you said to me, I can only think of now how many people live in a place. Off the top of my head, when was Donald Trump elected for the first time? I say, oh my God, I'm not sure, but off the top of my head, it was about 2 and 4, 6 and 4, 10 years ago, 2016. I would say off the top of my head. Yikes, politics, sorry. Hi, Cece. Don't mention politics, yeah, I know. Don't mention politics, football, or religion. They're the three things we shouldn't bring up. Look up the song Freestyler. Yeah. There they use off the top of my dome. Wow. I can't sing, so I'm not, but I think I know the song you're talking about. Freestyler song. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna check it. Hi, Irene. Religion is so controversial. Yeah, it is. It's super controversial. Super duper controversial. That's why I like Buddhism. Football is a controversial topic in Spain. Football is a very controversial topic everywhere, I think, especially in Spain. Yeah. Okay, so meaning without researching or thinking carefully beforehand. For example, off the top of my head, I'd say there are about 20 people attending the party or whatever. Possible origin. So the image is that the answer comes straight out of your head immediately. You're right. Without preparation, notes, or careful consideration. There are 20 On yeah, okay, well, we can see this. Brilliant. Yes, we can see this number. Yeah. So the expression became popular in conversational English as a way of warning people that the information may not be completely accurate. Okay? So you're warning people, it's like a disclaimer, no? It's like a disclaimer, okay? That the information might not be 100%. Okay? Super. So guys, those are the phrasal verbs for today. Are you happy with those, or did anybody have any questions? I'll just read them off again. So we saw off the hook, okay, the fishing one. I never knew how to translate disclaimer in my language. Okay. Yeah, a disclaimer. This is a disclaimer. What's your language, Mimadika? What's your first language, out of curiosity? Romanian. Reminds me of the light bulb when an idea pops up. Yeah, I wonder if there's a phrasal verb related to a light bulb. For sure there is. I mean, pop into my head. You could say pop into. You just popped into my head. Where did you get the idea? It just popped into my head. These phrasal verbs, for what level? C1 are in. They're for C1. Between B2 and C2. Average C1. But these are the idioms. So we have off the hook, off the beaten track, off the record, off limits, and off the top of my head. All right? Does anybody have any questions before we move on? Off the beaten track. Off the beaten track. T-R-A-C-K. T-R-A-C-K. Yeah. Track. Not truck. Okay. That's the only one I don't know. That was the only one you didn't know. Well done. Good job. Okay. So anybody have any questions before I drive on? No? Not right now? Okay. Any questions? You can let me know later. All right? So, next one, we have go off. So, phrasal verb go off. It has several different meanings. Will you share this in WhatsApp? Yeah, I will share this in WhatsApp. I will share this in WhatsApp. I will, yeah. I will share it in WhatsApp. Okay, so phrasal verbs with, you're welcome. Phrasal verbs with off. So go off. Anybody know any meaning of go off? If I say to you, oh no, the bananas are gone off. Go off on someone? Yeah, boy Vivir. Wow, you have a very high level. I think that's the most difficult way of understanding go off. My slingshot went off. Okay, my slingshot went off. The fire alarm went off. Good job, Bob. Nice. The fire alarm went off. Brilliant. Spoiled. Brilliant, Suter. Yeah, Suter. Well done. Good job. Nice. So we have explode. All right. Ring or sound. You got. Now, also, nobody said this one. Stop liking someone or something. Nobody said that one. Become spoiled, Soja said. Leave a place. Also. This is one. Yeah. And happen successfully. Nobody said. And Boy Vivir, you said this one. Good job. So all of them you got, apart from this one, and this one. So these are all the meanings of go off that I could think of anyway. For example, the alarm went off at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is Bob's one for the alarm. I completely went off reality TV after watching it for years. So this is the one, nobody mentioned this. So in this case, it means I stopped liking. I stopped liking, enjoying. Yeah. So you did like it, but now you don't like it anymore. You say, I went off it. I took off, but it's with take. Took off like flying or running. So the negotiations went off surprisingly smoothly. Yeah, nobody mentioned this one. Okay, so this is also the case. They went off, so it's like they happened as well. The negotiation happened surprisingly smoothly. So something suddenly moves away from its normal state. Yeah. Leaving, mimetic guy, for leave. You wanted an example with this. Look. So she got upset and went off crying. So this means she left crying. She left crying. She left the place. Okay? She took off crying, she went off crying. But went off could be walked off, whereas took off would be running. Get off from work at the end of the day is get off. Yeah, let's get off. You got it? Okay, cool. Brilliant. So that's go off. Next one, rip off. What about rip off? Anybody know? I think you guys are gonna know this. It's pretty common for B2. B2 plus, I'd say. Yeah, a scam. Brilliant. Yeah, a scam. Good job, Bob. Good job, Nata. Well done. Yeah. It's a scam. It's when somebody asks you to pay way more money than is correct. So an exorbitant price to charge people way more than it is. Good job. Like in Barcelona. Okay. For rent, is it? Or in general? In general. Yeah, I was in Barcelona in March for the marathon, and I think in the restaurant it was maybe 3 times more expensive than where I live. So it was a bit of a rip-off, yeah. There are places where they charge €12 for an 8-ounce bottle of Coke. Absolutely, it's mental, totally mental. Rent and in smaller stores, yeah, totally, rip-off. Rent in Ireland is also a rip-off at the moment. Total rip-off. So yeah, just really, really expensive. So, meaning overcharge someone, cheat someone, steal from someone, but also, we didn't say this one, copy someone's work or idea unfairly as well. To copy someone's idea or work unfairly. Plagiarism. Good job, Bob. Excellent. You got a lot of legal English, Bob. Good stuff. Exactly. And ripping someone off is another type of informal way of saying to plagiarize. Super duper. For example, tourists complained that local taxi drivers were ripping people off, charging way too much. The company was accused of ripping off smaller competitors' designs. Charging way too much. I'm going to copy away, baby. Yeah. The company was accused of ripping off smaller competitors' designs. So that's the one that we didn't think of. No copying them, plagiarizing them. Oh, the taxi drivers are ripping people off in Bucharest. Yeah, they are. They're ripping people off in Bucharest. That's why it's good to have Uber and what's the other one? Bolt. No, so you know the price beforehand. It's known, it's well known, yeah? In your country? Okay. We were in Turkey 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and some of the taxi drivers did try to rip us off. That brand ripped off Nike's design. Good job, Aaron. Love that one. I'm going to put that down here, actually. I really like that, Aaron's example there. That brand ripped off Nike's. Do you guys say Nike or Nikes? I say Nikes. Nike's design. Love that example. Exactly. That brand ripped off Nike's design. Brilliant. Good job. Oh, my favorite one. My personal favorite. We paid €18 for a coffee and a sandwich. It was a complete rip-off. Okay, the sandwich at the airport. My goodness. It's totally crazy. Nike like you. Hello, Victoria. In Romanian, it would only be the coffee. 18 euros off, goodness sake. I was in Vienna airport last month, and I think to eat something, like I think I bought a salad, and it was like 9 p.m. and the salad was like limp and not very green, like with maybe 4 pieces of tuna, and I paid like 20 euros. Yeah, I do, me, Matic, I travel a lot, yeah. Yeah, I would like now to travel less, actually. Limp. Limp is like when it's like this, you know? The salad was limp. The lettuce. You know, lettuce should be like crunchy and hard, and the lettuce was like this, dehydrated lettuce. Oh, I was hungry, so but I think at the airport for some food I spent like 40 euros. I mean, it wasn't soggy, it wasn't like wet, it was just um going dry, rather dehydrated, Victoria. Yeah, God, it was fine. But yeah, I don't eat gluten, not crunchy. I don't eat gluten, so by the time I got to the airport at 9 p.m., it was like the choice was limited. Yeah, so someone taking more than they should from you. Cool. Okay, next one is slack off. This one is not so common. I mean, yeah, it's not as common as the previous ones, but I still thought it was worth putting it in. Slack off when you work, not as, yes, good job, Mimatic guy. When you work, not as hard as you could. So you're being lazy. Yes, that's it. It's really funny for me because nowadays, I don't know if any of you use Slack at work. A lot of my students are like, oh, excuse me, my Slack. Somebody's trying to speak to me on Slack, you know? But I associate Slack with this, with slack off. Don't slack off now, you're making progress. Yeah. Oh, the app. Yeah, exactly, the app. The communication app for work. Okay, so it means work less hard than you should. Exactly. Become lazy, reduce effort. So slack off. For example, productivity dropped because several employees started slacking off. They started getting lazy. You can't afford to slack off during the final stages of the project. The team slacked off after securing qualification. Okay, so it means the effort becomes loose rather than tight. Getting caught, slacking off. Yeah, excellent. Look, you could say he got caught slacking off. Yeah, exactly. So he should have been in the off or at home working, and maybe his boss saw him having coffee outside with his friends. What's the opposite? Working hard, I guess. Putting your foot down, nose to the grindstone. In slang, they say caught lacking. Do they say caught lacking? For me, lacking is a different thing. He came up lacking is it's a different thing. Lacking is like you're missing something. They investigated him and he came up lacking. Or his CV looked really good, but when he was interviewed, they found him lacking. That he didn't have what they thought he did according to his curriculum, for example. Okay, next one, write off. What about this one, guys? This came up in my class today. In a class. Which class was it? Was it today or yesterday? It definitely came up recently. In slide, yeah. Okay, it definitely came up. Any ideas? Clueless? Yeah. To be lacking or write off? You're clueless about this? No ideas? Write off. So I always consider this my first one is paying off. Actually, when you're driving a car, touch wood, if you have a car accident, normally, if you're lucky, you can fix the car. Maybe you have to go to the garage or whatever. But there are some cases where the car is very, very badly damaged, intrinsically damaged, and the car can't be repaired, right? So then an inspector will come, maybe for the insurance or whatever. They're going to check the car and they're going to say, no, it's cheaper to give this person a new car, another car, because it's impossible to fix this car. and officially they write off the car. So this car cannot be driven on the road anymore. So for me, this is always the what comes to mind first when I think of write off. And then from that, we apply this to people. You know, when you see somebody who wants to do something, total loss, yeah. Maybe this girl says that she wants to compete in the Olympics, and everybody says, I think she doesn't have the talent, or she doesn't train enough, or she's just not good enough, or other people, her competitors, are better, and they decide no, she's never going to go to the Olympics. They write her off, and then maybe she does. You know, maybe she trains really, really hard, and she gets to the Olympics, and she proves them wrong, the people who wrote her off. Okay. So it means consider someone or something a failure. That's this one. Or, as I mentioned, declare a vehicle beyond repair, so you cannot repair it. And the other one, remove a loss from financial accounts. Yeah, this is really important for working in English as well. So if you send a bill, this happened to me once, you send a bill to someone and you do the work, or you send them the product before they pay you because you trust them, and in the end, they don't pay. So in your accounts, you need to write it off. You need to accept that you will never receive that money for the work done, right? Everyone wrote Cristiano Ronaldo off. Then he scored a hat trick. Love it. Yeah. I love it. I'm going to write that one down. Sunday, write off a debt. Yes, exactly. Well, sign off means that you have permission to pay. So if there's a bill, the manager needs to see the bill and say, okay, we can pay this. He needs to sign off on the bill, and then they can pay the bill. That's to sign off on something. So it's a bit different to write off. Write someone's name off your list. No, you can't write it off your list. I'm going to write his name off my list. I'm going to write it off my list. I guess maybe you could. Maybe it's not so common, but it's the same as cross it off your list. I'm going to write it off my list. That's interesting. I'm not sure. I'm going to write his name off my list. I'm not sure about that one. I need to check. First of all, I like this example with Cristiano Ronaldo. So everyone wrote Cristiano, hello, off, but then he scored a hat trick. Super. I love that one. Time to ask AI to can you ask and tell me? I'm going to write his name off my list. I mean, it sounds like it, by the way, it is cross off or cross out. Both are okay, but cross out, cross off, they're both used. Matvi, good question. For me, they're both used. If I Google it, maybe it's going to be one is American and one is Irish. Cross out, cross off. I think cross out for me is when I make an X, and cross off is when I do like this. But they're the same. Cross it off, cross it out. I'm going to investigate this. To cross off, V. But I think they're just totally the same. Maybe one is more British and one is more American, but I think they're the same. Then I'm going to write his name off my list. I need to check this. To write someone's name off a list. I feel like you can say that. Maybe I just haven't used it in a long time. But I feel like maybe you can. So it's basically like crossing it off the list. You know? When you write off Cristiano Ronaldo off is like when you disconsider him. Exactly, he's not going to do anything. Maybe he's on the team for morale, but he's not going to achieve anything great. Yeah. And then Sunzi said to write off a debt. Yeah, that's totally correct. To write off a debt. That means that to write off a debt, yeah, means not paid. Underestimating. Yeah, it's kind of like, Even more than underestimate. Underestimate is one thing. Write off is like you're definitely saying like there's no way, you know? So we're gonna say compare to underestimate. Yeah. So I'd say underestimating is one thing, being the underdog, but writing off is like you have zero expectations from this person. Like he is not cut out to achieve. Yes, good job. Yeah, he is not cut out for it. Brilliant. Good job, Salter. Exactly. You disinherit him. Write him off my will. I'm gonna write him out of my will. You see, that would be I'm gonna write him out of my will. I'm going to inherit him. I'm going to write him out of my will. I think it would be like this more so. To disinherit Joy. I write off Penaldo. Is this accurate grammar? I'm gonna ask a crazy question now, guys. Don't laugh because maybe I should know this. Who is Penaldo? Ronaldo. I wrote off Ronaldo in the past, Joey, probably no. I write off Ronaldo every day would be present simple. I wrote Penaldo is Ronaldo's thing. Is it? Okay, I didn't know. Penaldo is Ronaldo's thing. I didn't know. Because he can only score pens. Oh no. That's very bad. I didn't know. Messi's fans call him Penaldo. Okay, no sorry, yeah. Laugh cry, I didn't know that either. I didn't know. Okay, that's really cool. Penaldo. I didn't know. Yeah. So I wrote off Penaldo, right? I wrote off. No, I would put past perfect. No, I had written Penaldo. I shouldn't say this. Penaldo off until he scored a hat trick. Yeah. Ronaldo the GOAT. Bro. Haha. Laughing myself. You made his day. Oh my god. Okay. So, that's this one, right? For example, the car was written off after the accident, right? The firm wrote off millions in bad debt. Okay, so this is you decide something is no longer worth investing in. You decide something is no longer worth investing in. Okay, and I think this is the last one for today. This is the last one. It is fend off. So, maybe you've already seen it. Anybody know what fend off means? To fend off? Yes, good job. Good job. Yeah, I was going to say it. Comes from defend. Yeah, good job. Comes from defend. Defend off means that you have to fight to keep someone away. Okay? Wolves. I said I knew because you scrolled down too much and I got to read the meaning. Okay, you're so honest. You're really, really honest. Okay, so yeah, meaning defend yourself against something. Resist, attack. So you resist when you're being attacked. Criticism, all right, it's going to come up in the quiz. Pressure or competition. One second, my TikTok is saying, yes, just checking if I'm not a robot. A quiz. Yeah, the quiz is after coming up now after this, okay? So, for example, the government, so are you. I can't remember what I said now. Fence off. Fence off is different, but it's similar. To fence off is different, Bob. The robot thing. I'm a robot. So are you? No. I'm not a robot as far as I know. I'm not. As far as I know, I'm not. To fence off. No. I have bad days too. The robot thingy. Yeah. Okay, Bob, you're thinking of to fence off. This is different. This is to put. I had a picture of this actually yesterday in my notebook. Um, but I'll be damned if I can find it now. No, it was in because I had a good illustration that I drew. No, I don't know where it is. I've written too many notes now on that. Fence off. A fence is the actual barrier that you create around a house or a garden. So fence off. If you buy a property and there's no fence, you might decide to build a fence around the area. Put up a wall. Yeah, a wall or and a fence is different to a wall. To wall off. Okay, so it's to put up a boundary. To put up a type of boundary. Yeah, yeah. Fence is the barrier that stops me to keep my. Okay, it's a quiz after the stadium. Yeah, it's a quiz after the stadium. Yeah, after this phrasal verb, Alina. Yeah, vitamin C helps. Yeah, good job, Aaron. That's brilliant. Um, vitamin C, vitamin C helps to fend off colds. Love that, Aaron. Brilliant. Awesome. Now, the government struggled to fend off criticism from opposition parties. She successfully fended off difficult questions from journalists. The company fended off a takeover attempt. All right, memory tip, you push something away to protect yourself. Is a fence usually like a mesh or does it refer to a low wall? No, mesh, Bob, mesh. It's like a net, like this type of thing, no? Material, metal or something. Yeah, low wall would be a wall. It wouldn't be considered a fence. Fences can also be wooden, a wooden fence, a metal fence, a mesh fence. Yeah, good question. Well done. All right, guys. So, moving on now, we have here the vocabulary quiz, right? So, all of this is with off. So, here we go. Your friend says, don't tell anyone this, but I'm leaving the company next month. I don't have B2 level yet, but I watch a lot of TV shows. That's awesome, Aaron. You did well there. Good job. A mesh fence. Yeah, I think some fences can be made from mesh. So, the information is clearly, what do you guys think? Your friend says, don't tell anyone this, but I'm leaving the company next month. Brilliant, guys. Good job. Alina, Scooter, Bob. Yeah, off the record. Super duper. 1 point. Well done. Question 2. You accidentally break your brother's laptop, but your sister gets blamed instead. Good job, Sunday. Good job, Bob. Good. Your sister gets blamed instead. You are completely off the top of your head, off the hook, off limits, or off the record. You accidentally break your brother's laptop, but your sister gets blamed instead. You are completely. Good job! Good job! Me, Marikai, Bob, Alina, Cici, Sophie, Sunzi, Soter. Soter, I'm calling you Scooter now. I forget whose fault this is, but now 2 times I have tried. Now I'm seeing Scooter. No, Soter. Brilliant, guys. Off the hook. Super duper. Good job. Well done. Question 3. You spend your holiday in a tiny mountain village that doesn't appear in most guidebooks. The village is definitely off the beaten track, off the hook, off limits, off the record. Amazing. Well done, guys. Alina. Lion? Yeah, you a lion or a cheetah there? Sunzi, Soter, Cici, Bob, super duper. Well done. Yeah. A, off the beaten track. The village is definitely off the beaten track. Brilliant. Question 4. Your parent, I'm going to scroll and put this down. 1 sec. 1 sec. Okay. Question 4. Your parents tell you never to enter their bedroom without a panther. It's a panther. That's cool. Your parents tell you never to enter their bedroom without permission. Their bedroom is off the hook, off the record, off the top of my head, off limits. Hey, Marco. Amazing, guys. Amazing. Me, Marikai, Bob, Sunzi, Alina, Soter, Marco, Cici, Panther. Amazing. Off limits. You cannot enter. Good job. Question 5. Someone asks how many countries you've visited. You haven't counted recently, so you reply, I'd say about 20. Off the hook, off the beaten track, off the top of my head, or off limits? Yay! Sonzi, Mimatica, Alina, Solter, Bob, Cici, Panther, Marco. Brilliant. Well done. Amazing. Yeah. Off the top of my head. It means without thinking, Panther. Without thinking or without searching for the answer. Okay? And it's a disclaimer that maybe it's not exactly correct. A wild guess. Yeah, a wild guess, Sunzi. I like that one, Sunzi. Yeah, well, an informed guess, yeah, because you did do it, you know. You're welcome, Panther. Thanks, Sunzi. Question 6. You leave milk in the fridge for a month. When you open it, the smell is terrible. The milk has written off, gone off, slacked off, fended off, slacked off.